guilty of crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm your host, Jay, with Guilty of Crime, and we're back, y'all. Come on in. We're covering the Alexee Trevizo case today, guys. Alexee Trevizo was a cheerleader that dumped her baby in a hospital trash to die. Now, guys, this case has been dragging on for so long. Supreme Court finally stepped in and got rid of some of the very key evidence. Will Alexee Trevizo walk away? Guys, so far, she has. All right? I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to say hello and then let you know. Alexee Trevizo has been walking free, going to the prom, taking college classes, etc., etc. Is that the right thing to have happened? Should we make sure to rehabilitate her before she does it again? Is she a threat? Why has she been out there? Why do some people get sentences and others get a free pass? I don't know, but this is not a good message for young mothers to, you have a baby, you didn't know about it, just throw it away and then file some motions, get a good lawyer, and you're out of there. You're on house arrest the whole time. Literally, I don't even know if it's house arrest, but her restrictions are unbelievable. And maybe, just maybe, again, maybe, just maybe, she could be rehabilitated. She was a young teen, a young cheerleader teen that was sexually active, and her mom didn't explain things to her. Instead, she said, just don't do it or you're a whore. And guys, you got to remember, we just talked about that. I said, be open with your kids, talk to them, because if you tell them not to do it, they're just going to do it behind your back anyway. And then look at what happens. If you guys don't know this story, don't worry. I'll give you a recap first. This did happen years ago, guys. Literally, this has been dragged out for years. All right. This happened in 2022. We're August 3rd, 2026. Why am I coming on it about now? Why am I coming on to talk about it now? Well, because this happened in ARTESIA, Mexico, guys. All right. In August of 2026, the New Mexico Supreme Court has issued a landmark ruling in the case of Alexee Trevizo. All right. She was a former high school cheerleader at the time. I'll show you her cheerleading baby bump. And she is accused of killing her newborn baby after secretly giving birth in a hospital bathroom. Guys, that is the evidence that's getting tossed out. That's a huge part of the story. Now, the unanimous decision bars prosecutors from using Trevizo's hospital statements and police body cam footage in any type of trial, citing that the doctor-patient confidentiality and Miranda violations, and the Supreme Court agreed. All right, let me say hello to everyone, and then we'll get into it. For those of you, if you guys don't know anything about this case, you just need a quick refresher. Type of 1. I feel like most people will. Hey, Polka Dot, Suzanne, good to see you. Lady for Justice, how you doing? Tony's in the house. Kathy's here. Good to see you guys. DBB, saying hi to Mama Pearl. And Mama Pearl's in the house. Michelle, how you doing? Good to see you. Kel, always a pleasure. Indy Isham, how you doing, my friend? Everything okay? Did I miss something? Channel 53, how you doing? I had to get the talk from my mom. I'm a guy, by the way. Hey, you know what? Boys need the talk too, okay? Channel 53, we have a 26-year-old son, and he has two mamas, me being one mom and other mom being the other. And we always talk to our son about what he needs to do and how, etc. You should be open with your kids. If you can't be open with your kids, then don't have any, all right? If you're going to not take care of them, just don't have any. I wish. All right. How's everyone doing? The classic one, Baja, Sadie's mama, Melissa's here on time today. Norma, how you doing? You're still not in the green. Maybe you'll get a gifted membership. Sadie's mama, big hugs. Joanne, what are we talking about here? What's going on? Shadow Lion, my Leo friend. All right. Doofus Dolly and told him to keep you on. Thank you, Andy Isham. Were they trying to kick me last night? I can only watch parts of it because I was doing other things. But yeah, I've been in a time crunch since I took off a few days. I feel like I'm way behind. But hello, everybody. Kimberly and Baja, y'all been waiting for a minute. And I just got a haircut. So do me a favor, guys. Come on in. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can. If you like my haircut, hit the like button. If you don't like me, I just got a haircut. That's why I'm like a couple minutes late. I like it. I was dying yesterday, guys. I was so hot in here, but I'm better today. So what's up? Teresa, it's always good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Mo, happy Leo season, guys. If you're a Leo, my new person that just cut my hair, he's a Leo. I was vibing with him. He's awesome. All right, so my Leo friends, yeah, I do. He did a great job. Look at that. Look at that. Great job. Now, if I could just have my own personal barber, just put in my pocket and take him wherever. All right, your opinion is not what people would like to. You know what? Whether people want to hear this story or input or what they don't like or what they do, you're still gonna hear it. So what's up, Inquisitive P? How you doing? Thank you. I appreciate that. Channel 53X. Hey, if you need to talk to anyone or you want to go back and forth about channels, you can email me at guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. I promise I will not bite. All right. You can email me and say, hey, Jay, do you have any suggestions or whatever? I don't know what kind of creator you are, but hey, I'd be happy to find out. All right, Kel's in the house. Go sub up to K&H Crime, please. Thank you. Leos do rule. I'll give us that. All right. Molly's channel got a recording. Oh, Dolly. Thank you, Jody. I saw you guys looking out for me last night. I heard. I just couldn't watch the chat the whole time. All right. Yeah, Molly, I got you, Jody. I got you. I know how it is. Twin mommy, my girl. How you doing? All right, so listen, I know I've been super busy, Melissa. I want to get you that blanket. I want to get you what you want. Send me an email and let me know so I can get to my girl Tiff on the merch store. Message me, all right? I don't know what you're doing nowadays or what, but shoot me a message. I'd be happy to get you your 2-year anniversary blanket. No, I can't do that for everybody, but Melissa has a special place in my heart and she knows it. That's why she likes being here, because we care. All right. We do care about all of you guys. So if you need something, reach out. We'll do the best we can. In the meantime, trigger warning. All right. Trigger warning. Haha. My fat fingers can't type. That's okay. It happens to me all the time. Hey, Crazy Jane. Good to see you. Virgos rule too. My nephew's a pretty badass Virgo. But Tauruses kick ass. You're right, Kimberly. Tauruses, Deb is a Taurus, and every Taurus that I've ever been friends with, well, I've just been friends with them because they are so damn bossy. But I love y'all, right? All right, guys, let's get started. I mean, this has been years. Is she going to walk free as she has been, guys? I don't know. Who knows about... Do you guys know all about this case already? Because it's been so long. 347 members. Kathy needs 500 to get that milestone. Let's go. The classic one. You're a Taurus. Yeah, Tauruses are bossier than Leos. I'll tell you right now, I submiss I submit to really strong-headed Leos that just aren't going to back down, and Tauruses. I say, guys, you know what you want. You have it in mind. Just tell me and we'll go. Like, I don't like confrontation. So I'm just like, hey, let's go. All right. If you're a dominant Leo or a bossy Taurus, hey, Kathy, my wife of 21 years, is a Gemini. Something's working there. All right. Only bossy, but it's because I love you. I know. What case? Hey, Allie, I don't have a Red Bull today, but I do have a Starbucks Frappuccino. All right, let's get going. You don't know the story. A lot of you don't. Let's get into it. All right. You can see that on the screen. Let me give you a quick little briefing on it. Okay. Now, tonight we're getting into the case that came out of Mexico where a teenager at the time, Alexee Trevizo, gave birth in a hospital bathroom. Now, the baby was found dead in the trash bag, and now the state Supreme Court has made a ruling that could change the whole case. All right. This story of Alexee Trevizo and the legal twists, it actually is redefining privacy of being a patient and including that into the justice system. But I think it's going to work in favor for Alexee. Now, I don't think she's a monster, but I do think that she does deserve to do some time, whether it's in or out. But guys, listen, let's go back to January 27th of 2023. Do you see her up there? She's there. After this, she went to her prom like nothing happened. Over here, you can see her she chubbed up for sure on the upper right. Baby chubs, right? Baby chubs. She was 19 when it happened, but she still was considered a teenager because she was 19. So I'm not trying to give her a freebie pass. All I'm saying is January 27th, 19-year-old Alexee Trevizo went to the hospital complaining of severe back pain because of her cheerleading practice. She denied being pregnant, so the doctors gave her a shitload of morphine and they ran a pregnancy test. Now, the pregnancy test didn't come back until after Alexee scooted down the hallway holding her butt, like trying to keep a dump in, all right? But it was a baby. Now, listen, it never came back. It never told the result. But moments later, she locked herself in the bathroom and she gives birth. She locked herself in the bathroom, gave birth, blood everywhere, and she put the baby in the bottom of the trash can. All right. She was in the hospital. That baby could have lived because she was in the hospital. They could have helped, but I'm not going to blame it all on her. All right. She is the culprit. She does deserve to get a punishment. However, prosecutors originally charged her with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Guys, I think that was a far overstretch. Now, they claim the baby was born alive, and then she just suffocated it, threw it in there callously, and was like, screw this baby. I don't think that's quite what happened. But the defense argues she was in shock, medicated, and unaware that she was pregnant. Guys, she still didn't know at this time. She still was running to the bathroom, holding her fucking backside like if she was about to drop a turkey out. And it was, all right? Now, over the next 2 years, guys, first she insisted it was a stillborn. She said the baby never cried, never breathed, never anything. Over the next 2 years, the courtroom has been fighting this case. The defense is saying one thing, and they're saying this is not the rights. We need physician-patient privilege and Miranda rights. Okay, so can the statements made in the hospital room while a patient is under medical care and drugged up that doesn't know they're pregnant, can that be used against them? Well, guess what? The trial court says no. So like I said, they are literally enforcing this rule in the Supreme Court. And on August 3rd, New Mexico Supreme Court delivered its decision. And they said that this footage is inadmissible and that she was medicated, bleeding, and unaware that police were even present, meaning she couldn't voluntarily waive her medical privacy because they were in there. Now, the ruling sets a precedent that police cannot use patient statements during treatment unless a patient knowingly and voluntarily waives confidentiality. And guys, I have to say, I gotta agree with that a bit. That was not okay. None of that was okay that they were in the room listening to the most private conversations and using that as evidence against her. In my opinion, it's not okay. So go a different route. While I continue telling you about this just for a minute, let's play this so you can see that she was showing that she was pregnant. Her mom missed it. The hospital missed it. I don't get it. I'm going to play this while I continue. We don't need the music, but this just shows you, guys, she was pregnant. All right. All right. So listen, guys, from cheerleader, as you can see, to defendant, she is now facing life in prison. I believe they overreached. She hasn't even served a day, and her murder case is still pending because they can't agree on the strongest evidence that they need for this case. So, guys, it might be a far stretch. Legal experts say the ruling could lead to either a lesser charge or a plea deal for time served, and she wasn't even in. She was just on monitoring. So from cheerleader to defendant, Alexee Trevizo raises lots of medical and privacy justice. What's the line between tragedy and a crime? The Supreme Court's decision may not end the case, but it's already rewriting how hospitals and police will handle this. And they may use her as an example to rehabilitate her. All right. So, I mean, we're going to do this while I get everything ready. Hold on. I want to look at this for a second and get to watch it. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I try to present both sides regardless. And then you'll hear, I'm usually biased one way or another, but I'll still present the case and let you guys decide what you want to do with it. All right. So she absolutely looks pregnant there. I don't think there's much doubt about it that she knew, but I think she was in denial, like many young girls, that their parents don't speak with them about it. And that's what I'm saying, Michelle. We just got into it. Hey, Miss Annie, good to see you, my friend. Hit that like button. Yeah, teens are brutal. I just got to think of it as being my child, and I wouldn't want that ever for her, etc. But I don't think that would happen because we have open communication, and whatever consequences we get, we're going to take them. We're going to take them standing up and, face them. So that being said, let me give you a recap. I love Abby Blabby because, well, just that. She's going to get us up to speed while I'm getting everything else ready. I will use fair use. Go sub up to Abby Blabby. She's got 10,900 subscribers. She's mostly on TikTok. She puts it over here, but excellent quick content to get everybody up to speed. All right. And then we're going to start with why New Mexico Supreme Court ruled that key evidence cannot be used. And it's not just, because there's a reason why they can't use that key evidence. And what is it? What key evidence am I even talking about? Let's go.
It's in the Alexee Trevizo case. And my answer is always no. But today, July 30th, the answer is yes, because there's a huge update. But real quick, if you don't know who she is, Alexee Trevizo was 19 years old in January of 2023 when she went into ARTESIA General Hospital in New Mexico, complaining of severe lower back and abdominal pain. And she allegedly told them she couldn't be pregnant, but they had done a pregnancy test that showed she was. But for some reason, they didn't tell her. And then at one point, she asked to go to the restroom and they let her. So you can see in the picture right here, she ran down the hallway holding her butt because she was in active labor. And she went into a restroom where she remained for around 20 minutes.
Now, mind you, we're going to see this as it goes, right? There's going to be video. I mean, there's a ton of it, guys. If you haven't got caught up on this, please go check out my playlist. I've done some pretty good episodes on this. One of them I did with strategic true crime. All right, this is back in the Madeline Soto days, and I'm pretty sure the content is on point to get you up to speed. All right, so I've got some with myself and strategics in there and whatnot. All right, so it's a good playlist. Good playlist. Hey, Jill, good to see you, my friend. All right.
Staff said they could hear the toilet repeatedly flushing. The paper towel dispenser kept going. The sink was running. But the only person who went to check on her during that time was her mother. But she wouldn't let her mom come inside. She must have told her that everything was fine because both times Rosa went to check on her, she turned around and went back to the room to wait for Alexee. And eventually staff grew concerned and allegedly told her that if she didn't come out of the restroom, they were going to use a key to come in. So she came out and walked right back to the room, acting like nothing had even happened. Now, when she came out, staff noticed there appeared to be blood smears.
Now, let me show you something because I'm visual and you are too. And then we'll get back to the story. I love to chime in and chime out, though. So I want you to see what we're talking about. This is the evidence getting tossed out. And there's hours of it, my friends. That's why I say go back to my playlist and watch it, because we've got a ton of different body cam and footage that you're not going to see moving forward.
A woman charged with throwing her newborn baby in a hospital trash can has just had a major win in court. Alexee Trevizo is accused of giving birth in a hospital bathroom before placing the newborn in the trash. She has pleaded not guilty and maintains the baby was stillborn. Now, the New Mexico Supreme Court has ruled that prosecutors cannot use Alexee's statements made in her hospital room as evidence. The court also ruled that hospital surveillance footage and police body camera footage cannot be used at trial because they are protected by doctor-patient confidentiality. The case will now return to court without that evidence. Do you think the evidence should be ruled out? A woman charged with throwing her newborn baby in a hospital trash can has just had a major win in court. Alexee Trevizo.
So this is a major win, guys. And what I was describing was her literally holding her behind because she thought, I don't know if what she thought that there was a baby coming or if she just had to take a massive dump. If you believe her, then she didn't know a baby was coming and she thought she was going to take a massive dump. Who knows?
On the floors and the walls. So they called for housekeeping.
Blood.
And then not long after that, a deceased newborn baby was found in the trash can in the restroom by the housekeeper. Of course, the police got called, and after they arrived, the doctor and an officer went into her room together. And it was at that point the doctor said that they had found a deceased baby in the trash can. And if you look at the photo on the top right, you can see her mother, Rosa, was in absolute shock. Lexi started crying. She said it came out of her. She didn't know what to do. She was scared. It wasn't crying or nothing. She made all of these incriminating statements, and her mom was like, Lexi, we talked about this. What happens to girls who do things to their babies? It was really weird. But anyway, she ended
Guys, we weren't even talking about this case, and I got to tell you, over the years of covering it, there's two sides. And in Coffee and Dog Studio, I'm with you. You guys know I'm normally like, lock her up, string her up, get it, blah, blah, right? But we're just trying to work this out. And she did just win a major Supreme Court ruling. All right. And maybe it's not just for her. Now, we don't know if the baby was stillborn because she was the only one that was in the bathroom with it to say so. The people that did an autopsy, however, say that the baby was born and did take its breath and she killed it. So that's what we're talking about here, right? I know, Jam, me too. It's so unfair at sometimes, and then other times just completely out of sorts. Lately, it's been way more out of sorts than what we know. She knew what she was doing. She did not know baby was a human being. She should be in prison. Yeah, she should absolutely, in my opinion, have been locked up. But due to the messy evidence in this case, she's not.
Ended up getting arrested, and one of the things she was charged with was first-degree murder. Now, her boyfriend, Devin Fierro, right there, said that he had no idea she was pregnant. And after it happened, they actually continued to date. They were going out and having dinner together, taking cute selfies. You can see they went to their senior prom. They were both acting like nothing had even happened. And Alexee also said she had no idea she was pregnant. Apparently, she thought she was just overweight, and she was actually taking diet pills. This is a picture of her when she wasn't pregnant. And this is one when she was pretty close to giving birth. And I've been saying this whole time, I have no idea how she or her boyfriend or anybody else who was close to her couldn't have known she was pregnant.
Look at that.
Anyway, the baby was born full term, and the autopsy showed that he had air in his lungs, which suggests he was born alive. But her defense attorney, Gary Mitchell, said the air was in his lungs from Alexee allegedly doing CPR. And of course, they blamed the hospital because they hadn't told her she was pregnant. They had given her all of this pain medication. And her attorney said a lot of the medical staff lied in their statements. There are so many more details to this. I have a playlist on my TikTok titled Alexee Trevizo, and it has, I think, somewhere close to like 100 videos. So if you want to get caught up and get all of the details that are publicly out there so far, I have them in that playlist. But anyway, one of the things her defense attorney did was file a motion to suppress her statements from the hospital that night. So everything she said.
So that's it right there. And we've been waiting on this ruling, okay? She was in the hospital. It's wild because she was in the hospital. The ring button was her actually running down the hall trying to put whatever back in. We're going to see all of this today. And I agree with that. You know what's funny, Pug Mom? it's not really funny, but they're suing the hospital. Like, she has a criminal case and they have a civil case against the hospital. And I have the paperwork. I got to shout out to the person that sent me the case docket. I literally have the full case number with 500 and some odd pages from the Supreme Court that was filed on July 3rd of 2024. Guys, it has hundreds of pages and lots of information in it. I'll show you some of that in a bit as well. All right, let's get past this. We got a few more minutes to catch us up to speed, and then we're going over why the U.S. Supreme Court ruled this way.
In the ER, after the doctor confronted her about the baby being found in the trash can, he wanted all of that thrown out. He basically said that her privacy and her rights were completely violated because she wasn't talking to the police officer at that point. She was talking to the doctor, and she had no clue that statement she made could possibly be used against her at a later date. And the district court approved that motion, but the state filed an appeal with the New Mexico Supreme Court. That was over a year ago. So this whole time, everybody's been wondering what they're going to decide. Well, the answer came out today. I wrote an article about it earlier on my Book of Faces, so I'm just going to read it directly from there. In a decision released this week, the state's highest court upheld a previous...
I'm going to read it myself. Thank you very much. All right, this is not the same article, but let me get to it. All right. So here it is right here. Why the New Mexico Supreme Court just ruled key evidence can't be used in Alexee Trevizo case. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's look at this and see what they say here. I just want you to see this is the footage. That, and there was other, literally hours of this footage going back and forth, back and forth. This was July 30th. Now, this is more than 3 years after Alexee was charged with murder, right, by New Mexico Supreme Court. So they could put the future of her court case in jeopardy. Now, in a unanimous opinion filed on Thursday, we're talking 5 days ago, the court upheld a lower court's decision to suppress key hospital evidence in the case against Trevizo, ruling that prosecutors cannot use statements that are protected by the physician-patient privilege. All right. And then I just gave you the background. She still is charged with first degree and tampering with evidence. I think that's a far stretch, but hey, we'll see, because they say her newborn died following a birth in the hospital bathroom. And she took the baby out, bled everywhere, and covered it up in the trash and walked away. Didn't tell them a thing. An autopsy determined the newborn's death to be a homicide, showing the baby likely suffocated after she gave birth. She's pled not guilty, and we're fighting this case since January of 2023. Now, the court's opinion has been quite extensive, with lots of back and forths and motion suppressed and rulings to do this. And she wants to keep going to school, but people are harassing her, etc., etc. Now, after she gave birth, the court's opinion says a physician waited to discuss her medical condition until police arrived. They knew she was pregnant, but they didn't want to confront her. But they did. They invited them into her hospital room and confronted her with the discovery of the newborn. So that's shocking, right? You get these law enforcement people in here that are looking at you on the bed. You just gave birth, and not only did you give birth, you stuffed your baby in that bathroom there, and now you've got them in your room. So let me put this up real quick, because I want to give you the full understanding. Hopefully the footage is there.
Hello, everyone. I'm Crystal Cruz. New details tonight on a court case against a then teenager from New Mexico. Alexee Trevizo is accused of murdering her newborn baby inside a New Mexico hospital. News West 9's Lily Beth Vias joins us tonight. Lily Beth, this case unfolded back in 2023.
That's right, Crystal. And it's faced some legal battles along the way. Alexee Trevizo was 19 years old when she went to a hospital in ARTESIA, New Mexico, for what she said was back pain. After using a hospital bathroom, staff later found a dead newborn baby inside a trash can. As I mentioned before, the court case has faced legal battles, including a challenge from the plaintiff, or the state of New Mexico in this case, back in July.
Now, guys, it does make me wonder a bit. I mean, the justice system is the justice system, right? Jam, I agree with that. Ray, how you doing? Good to see you. All right. God, everyone's here. Jill says, I'm an adult. If that happened to me, I would have been so scared. I would have. Yeah. And that's where I think that's where this case is controversial. All right. That's where this case comes in as a controversy because listen, guys, listen. I mean, I got to tell you, Alexee Trevizo was given anti-inflammatories, painkillers, and fluids through an IV, including morphine, which will make you just relax. Did the morphine and the anti-inflammatories and the painkillers help to have the baby for her to pass the baby? Yes, she was wrong at the moment the baby came out. I don't know what the hell she was thinking or how scared she was, but she used the bathroom. She used the bathroom, locked herself in, gave birth, cleaned up as good as she can, and then the hospital staff came in saying, hey, we found a baby, a dead baby in the trash can. No signs of moving, no signs of crying or breathing. All right. So now the court documents say the baby had air in its lungs and in its stomach, which would be consistent with the baby having been what? Born alive. Yes. That would leave her culpable for the suffocation and disposal of the baby. Prosecutors argue that the physician-patient privilege did not apply in this case due to hospital staff being required by law to report the death to law enforcement. So what they're saying is every circumstance that came, it came that way, but just because that's the circumstance, they want this outcome. Now, in a unanimous decision, they were ruled that reporting the newborn's death does not eliminate physician-patient privilege, and also it's concluded that Trevizo did not voluntarily waive the privilege at all. All right. So in the court's opinion, they say Trevizo was experiencing a medical emergency after giving birth, but she had multiple medications and she ultimately lacked the capacity to voluntarily waive her privilege, and it went through. All right.
July of this year, it asked the state's highest court to step in and reverse a decision made by the lower court that tossed out some of its key evidence, including law enforcement body cam footage taken inside the hospital with Alexee Trevizo. A jury trial meant to determine Trevizo's fate was slated for August 26th of this year. However, that date was later removed off the docket. Fast forward to just a few weeks ago. An order from the New Mexico Supreme Court could help move the case forward through the legal process. According to court documents, one of these most recent orders came down this month, accepting perspectives in a legal document from experts and groups like the National Police Accountability Project, the American Civil Liberties Union of New Mexico.
See, she's just getting caught in the crosshairs of laws and legalities. In my opinion, if she does beat this and she only has a certain amount of time served or house arrest, she wins in this case. But at least let this case serve other people as a warning. And the classic one, I'm giving you an update first, but I assure you, you guys are all going to see the hospital bed occurrence and her mom being a straight up witch. All right. And that's my opinion. Her mom's a witch. I don't understand how someone would not know. I don't either, but you know, weirder things happen all the time. I watch those stupid shows where it says, I didn't know I was pregnant. And then at 8-9 months, they go give birth and like, damn, I didn't know I was pregnant. How the hell you not know you're pregnant, woman? That happens, though.
Who raised concerns over the legality of law enforcement inside emergency rooms. In its response, the plaintiff, or the state of New Mexico in this case, made arguments against the briefs, including voicing the case does not implicate any problematic concerns about the presence of law enforcement in emergency rooms. Now, why does the recent order matter? Perspectives in these legal documents are now a part of the case and could be considered by the state of New Mexico's highest Supreme Court. According to the docket, a pre-trial date has not yet been set. Alexee is being charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence.
All right, guys, don't worry. We're going to listen to what happened. You're going to see all this. Let me play this for you. And then we're going to jump into the case docket for a bit so you can see all of the things that have been going on. And, well, it gives you the real story, right? It's not this inflated story, so to speak. All right. All right, let me, where the heck did my downloads go? I literally just got off of work, guys. Ran and got my hair cut. It's a new barber. Got my hair cut. Got home in 5 minutes. All my stuff is next to here. I didn't even get to do anything except grab my drink and come here. So excuse me if I'm out of sorts at all. Okay, Now, let's take a look at this. We're going to look at the teen accused of dumping a baby in the trash allowed. This was 2 years ago, and then we're going to go to 3 days ago. That way you can understand this. It's 9 minutes, and it talks about, it tells you everything about what happened, and we're going to hear from the defense attorney about what's happening over the course of this. All right, so guys, if you're here, come on in, hit that like button, subscribe. I don't think we've done any memberships or anything, but Rose, thank you for kicking us off today with the $5 super chat. We're going to be here for a while. If anyone else wants to help towards the goal or get a membership, that would be awesome. I will also gift a membership today. All right, good to see you, Bev and Kelly. Good to see you, Mab. Always a pleasure. The king. Lock her little psycho ass up, Michelle says. What kind of person could do that? She's not a normal person. She wanted to leave the hospital like nothing happened. Yes, and that happens quite a bit with teen pregnancies. It doesn't matter if she's 19. Still, listen, you're going to hear it right now because her mom is a witch, in my opinion.
Of delivering a baby, and it looked like you tried to hide it. You do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy, and there'll be an investigator and everything.
Alexee Trevizo, the New Mexico.
Her mom doesn't even seem to care about the baby or her daughter at all. It's just like she's sitting there like, damn you. Now I got to pay for a freaking attorney. Look at you did, you little... Right? She reminds me of the mom from Carrie. Get in the closet and pray. All right? She's been out the entire time. She has literally been out the entire time, running around free, going to college, going to proms, doing her deal. Yes, out on bond. I don't know what the bond is, but yes, this is back in 2023, so everybody can see what the heck happened.
Mexico teen accused of murdering her newborn baby in a hospital restroom is back in court asking for changes to conditions of her release.
I would ask that
Mm-hmm.
that restriction of being able to have contact and with her boyfriend be removed.
So there she is right here. And this is what happened initially, right? This has been in court. This has been tied up in court for years. And that's a strategy, in my opinion. Many times people do that. That way the witnesses go away. You look at her and you say, oh man, she got her college degree and this and this. It's a strategy, guys. This is her attorney. Let's listen.
Thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime. I'm Anjanette.
All right, we don't need to know that.
In terms of delivering
Let me go back.
Trevizo's reaction to police finding out she had given birth was captured by police body cameras.
in terms of delivering a baby, and
She's been on the
you
street.
tried to hide it. You do have to have the police involved.
And
You mo-
nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy, and there'll be an investigator and everything. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.
Her mom doesn't not even care about the baby
This correctly,
at all.
and I want to be transparent with you about what our steps are gonna be. Officer, do you need to
Damn.
talk to her before we get her transferred?
How long is it gonna be before you have to transfer
I
out?
don't know. Are we working on?
Okay.
Marina, do you think 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
I got detectives on the way. So
Okay.
Now, you guys are watching this part, and this was what the classic one was talking about. Okay, so we're watching this original footage, and this is the one that got kicked out. Okay, after she locked herself in the bathroom, you could clearly see the nurse saying, hey, there's a newborn baby dead in there. And she's like, no, that's not, I don't even, it didn't cry, right? She didn't even identify what he, she, a name, none of that. So listen, this is the evidence that just got kicked out. She was formally charged with first degree and tampering with evidence, but it's been going back and forth between her attorney and the court, right? The body cam footage and surveillance, it's all inadmissible. Now, prosecutors are still building their case without the excluded evidence, and no new trial date has been set. I believe it was supposed to be August 10th, but now with this new thing, do you think that they're going to possibly give her probably, I mean, they're going to have to charge us much lesser, in my opinion, without having any of that. They also can't use any of these statements, All right. They can't use any of this.
They're gonna be talking for.
Okay.
Do you guys have, I'm the charge nurse, or do you guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
Hey, Crystal.
What? 9 months? Nothing was crying.
Nothing was crying.
Let's see. Have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail? Nothing was crying.
See, I mean, this is not okay for me. First of all, her mom's a witch. She should have been able to confine her. Number two, I would be very upset if that evidence got into a court, because listen what she's saying. She's already saying you're guilty. She's not listening to her. She's not saying, what did you do? Why didn't you tell me? We could have. No, she's just full on blaming her. And it's caught all on body cam because law enforcement's in there now. So that I wouldn't want to happen to anyone.
Now Trevizo's lawyer does not want a jury to see that video. Trevizo could be seen in the background of a hearing conducted via Zoom as her attorney spoke. This is one of the first times the public has seen her in many months.
I wouldn't even want to give birth, let alone give birth and then come back in here to this. But really, she needs to be held accountable.
Trevizo's attorney, Gary Mitchell, believes some of what Trevizo said in the hospital is privileged since she was under the care of a doctor. And he suggests she had not been read her Miranda rights when police were present during some of the exchange because she couldn't leave.
Now, guys, she could walk. I want you to understand that. In the investigation 2 days ago, 3 days ago, yeah, it's very incriminating. But listen, here's the thing. The prosecution has been severely weakened now at this point because the hospital statements and all of the video are out. Now, many legal analysts and what we're going to talk about today says that this ruling could literally be to reduce charges or even dismiss the entire case, because this is the key evidence right here. Okay, this is the key evidence that they're using. I mean, her mom's literally telling the world, you're guilty.
Until police got there. They called 911. The police were there. We're not talking about a lengthy period of time here. We're talking about within minutes, really quick. And the police were there.
I know, exactly.
The sergeant comes, the officer comes, and then we go, then they talk to the doctor. They go in the room, and in the room at the time is my client, her mother, the doctor, and the 2 police officers are standing, and she can't leave.
Now, guys, I'm with you that she needs to do time. I'm never going to say baby had a privilege too and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'll say baby had a privilege too, but that doesn't need to be said. We know that. What's the proper sentencing for her? I don't know, because law enforcement has in my opinion, they overcharged her and then they use this evidence. So this case could be wiped off. She could walk, guys. That's why this is so important. All right. I don't know. I would be pissed too, but at the same time, Sherry, it does suck because her mom compromised the entire case. But you see why the video, yes, at least you can see why the video is being suppressed. I'm not sticking up for this girl. I've been covering this case since the beginning, guys. I have a whole playlist of this, and on the playlist, you'll hear me talk shit about her. But in this case, we're talking about a Supreme Court ruling and what's next. All right. I'm all about justice and doing the time if you did the crime.
And that's in their reports that by that time they've got this information. They have a baby that's deceased. They have a doctor, they have the baby, and they have information, and they're going in to talk to the mother. But my position is the doctor-patient privilege still applies because we do this all the time in hospitals. We have spouses present. We have family members present because they brought them in. And a lot of times the people aren't in their right mind to make decisions anyway and need a family advisor.
But the state disagrees. The prosecutor says Trevizo's mother was with her, so there's no privilege.
She came with her mother. She allowed her mother to be present. The court would be familiar that a patient has a right to not have other people in the room. They ask if it's okay if that person stays. That's normal treatment. The state would submit. So, Your Honor, we believe there are 3 different things going on here. And for defense to lump it all in and say it's all privileged before the court, we would just.
Guys, I think they got too cocky. I literally think they overcharged and got too cocky by the evidence that they had. All right. I would be in tears if the stupid ass mother won't come. I know, right? She was probably hiding the pregnancy. I think she was absolutely hiding the pregnancy and she was in denial. But I think the prosecution also overcharged and got cocky that this would be a slam dunk. Prosecutors always say, don't get cocky when you think, oh, what's your chances of winning? They say, I'm going to stay humble on that because you never know. And that's right.
And so we don't believe there is a privilege.
The judge asked for more information from the defense and the prosecution before making a decision on the motion to suppress those statements.
There may be some distinct acts or events that occurred that are privileged or may be privileged. I'm seeing other. I can't lump this into one event, a long-running event. I think we've got, for example, I'm thinking that the whatever happened in the hallway, which I think is just a video of her going from, I guess, a treatment area down the hallway into the bathroom, right? That's a public area. I can't see that video would in itself be a privileged video. I've got other questions about other parts. I do think it's a good idea that you submit findings of fact.
The next request from Trevizo's attorney has to do with the conditions of her bail. She's only been allowed to talk to her boyfriend, the father of the baby.
Okay, so this is going to answer your question about how long she's served and what the penalty has been so far. All right. Hey, Kristen, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. All right. So that's the thing in this case is that she was released on bond almost 3 years ago, guys, over 3 years ago. She was released on bond. They said she couldn't talk to her boyfriend. That got overturned. I don't know how they would do that. And then they went to prom. All right. The judge and the court has literally been ruling for the last 3 years, going back and forth. So all of the charges and what we're waiting for in trial, she's not been incarcerated. We're not going to get time served, but I don't know what exactly her conditions of the bond are going to be from now until when the trial comes, if it comes.
By phone and social media since her arrest. In barring face-to-face meetings, another judge cited a domestic violence statute in not allowing the contact. But Trevizo would like to be able to go to classes at college without fearing running into him and then violating the terms of her release.
This is not a domestic violence situation between the two of them whatsoever. And that statute shouldn't apply. What should apply is that we can't, I mean, she hasn't been convicted of anything. She's not on probation. And as long as they don't discuss the case, they should be able to see one another. They both attend the same university. Okay. It's the second largest university in the state, but they both attend the.
She's been free the entire time. She has been going to college. It was quite a fight. Now, Foxy, you came in here late because I showed this at the very beginning. But sure. All right, guys, when we get to the next video, I'm going to gift a membership. It would be awesome if y'all can get a membership, gift a membership, or super chat, super sticker. I'll do that next. There is the video. You can see it was clear for any of us to see. All right. No, she has not gotten out of it, but there's a possibility that she will. Okay, there's the pregnancy belly, guys. Melissa, or I shouldn't say Melissa, Foxy, you got it? She's so freaking pregnant, right? And I hope you guys realize I've covered this case several episodes. So if you want more, go back and check out the playlist. It's some really good collab content. All right, let's get back to it. Because all the new stuff that just came out, that's where we're headed right now.
Yeah, my client is trying to stay at home, and take classes from the university. So we tried to avoid that problem this semester because I didn't have
There's a lot of body cam footage in this case, hours and hours. And this was the body cam footage the day of her arrest. Now, they did arrest her, but she was released shortly after, and she's been out for years. I don't even think she did longer than a day or two. I don't know how long she did, but it didn't say. It said she was detained and then released on bond with conditions.
Order and hadn't had this heard before then. But I'm asking that the court take a look at the motion and the state's response, because one, I don't believe we can order that in that fashion because of the cases I cited to the court, including Johnson and some other cases. And two, she has not violated that whatsoever. The judge allowed them to communicate via telephone and or
there you go.
Gosh, there's so many different media ways to communicate, but they couldn't be in person. And she's honored that. She doesn't go out at all, other than to come to my office. The court allowed her to go see her grandparents.
The prosecution didn't object to a change.
I wasn't talking to you anyway, Foxy. I was talking to twin mommy. All right. How about that? Anyway, I just gifted 5 membership. Hopefully somebody got a membership that wanted one. You guys, let me know. Come out of the bushes and say hello. All right. That's where my entire Thanksgiving dinner went. This chick wants to be a nurse. Does she?
Change in the conditions of her release, but didn't exactly endorse lifting the restriction altogether.
Once probable cause is found and probable cause has been found, this court can set restrictions to ensure that there is no conduct that could lead to a further crime involved in this case. And that is why Judge Finger made that restriction. The court can fashion conditions of release that allows her to attend a university that the same individual could attend. Maybe they're in the same class, maybe they're in the same lab, the same bookstore, the same restaurant, but it's no different. There's no reason for her to have a relationship with this person based on what the facts of this case are at this time.
You know what sucks is instead of her mom shaming her, she should have said, hey, listen, girl, you're going to live in my house. You're going to live under my rules. I know that you're having sex with your boyfriend, or this conversation would have never got brought up. Take her ass and get an IUD. The mom clearly knew she was having sexual relations with her boyfriend, or she'd have never said that. Welcome, new members. And Jen, YouTube crashed right before. Well, welcome. Hey, Jet Set. Baby Bear 44 or 4 forever. All right, let's continue.
In the end, the judge ruled in favor of Trevizo.
But I'm going to go ahead.
Every
I'm
time.
going to modify the conditions of release. I'll allow her to go. It's New Mexico State in Las Cruces, right?
That's correct, Your Honor. It is.
Big university, huge. I don't know what the student count is, but I'm sure it's several thousand.
Woo.
Las Cruces is a sizable city. Personally, counsel, I'm really trying to get in my mind how you can invoke a domestic violence prohibition against personal contact. First off, nobody's invoked the DV statute.
Now they're reaching, guys.
Violence.
Hold on.
I don't think that translates into this. I really don't. My gut reaction is that does not translate.
There was also a lot of discussion about a potential trial date for Alexee Trevizo. The judge said a large number of prospective jurors would be brought in for voir dire. That's questioning by attorneys for the prosecution and the defense. Jurors will also receive a questionnaire to fill out before voir dire. Alexee Trevizo's
I'm dropping this down just for a second. You guys can hear me. I'm going to put on the new video real quick while I help baby guilty. Okay. I got to say bye to her and give her a big hug and help her real quick. All right. Here we go. I'm going to play that. I'll be back. I know.
I'm sorry. Lexi, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
I've never seen anything like that, and I pray to God I never see it again.
Millions of people have seen this body cam already. But when this girl goes on trial for the murder of her newborn, the 12 jurors who will decide her fate will not. The state Supreme Court of New Mexico just tossed what might be the most critical pieces of evidence in the state's case against Alexee Trevizo.
The doctor had set her up with the police, their words, not mine, where they ambushed her.
Alexee's lawyer just joined us to talk about why this means everything to the defense of a girl who is charged in a horrific crime, charged with first-degree murder. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. This is a massive ruling in this case that goes back to 2023. And Alexee Trevizo, her lawyer tells us, is ecstatic about the decision. It just came down from the New Mexico Supreme Court yesterday. Now, Alexee is still charged with the first-degree murder for what reportedly happened at a hospital in the middle of the night in January of that year. But if and when she goes on trial, prosecutors will not be able to use the statements that she made when she was confronted by police and hospital staff after she allegedly gave birth in a bathroom and then put the baby in a trash can and then went back to her room and didn't tell anyone. And inside that trash can is where state autopsy records say the baby died. Now, one of the pieces of evidence that's been tossed in this decision, this moment that was caught on police body cam.
I'm sorry. We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It came out of me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
It was not crying or nothing. What did you do to it?
Okay, stop right here. Stop. Number one priority, guys. Number one priority is she just had a baby. I don't know if she's delivered the placenta. She's bleeding significantly.
Yeah.
I've spoken to the obstetrician at Loveless. They want her out there as soon as possible.
Okay.
I need your permission to transfer her for medical. She's
19.
Oh, you're right.
But she is a student too.
She's still 19 years
you're
old.
right. You're right. She needs to. I'm sorry, I forgot she's 19. You need to make sure that you're safe. I need to send you to Loveless to labor delivery. Will you please agree to that?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm gonna work on that. In terms, I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy and there'll be an investigator and everything. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but we need to do this correctly. And I want to be transparent with you about what our steps are going to be. Officer, do you guys need to talk to her before we get her transferred?
How long is it going to be before you have to transfer
I
out?
don't know. Are you working on?
Okay.
Maria, do you think 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Okay.
I got detectives on the way, so
Okay.
they're going to be talking first.
Okay.
Do you guys have, I'm the charge nurse here. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Like how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What? 9 months? Nothing was crying. Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail? Nothing was crying.
Attorney Gary Mitchell, who represents Alexee Trevizo, not just in the criminal case, but a civil case where they're suing the hospital for wrongful death of her baby. He's here. He's going to join me in a moment to talk about it. But before we do that, I want to lay out how we got to this point. And so let's go back to January 27th.
All right. Perfect timing, everybody. What's up? Sorry, you guys know the drill. What's up, Britt? Thanks for the 1,000 joules. Cheers, guys. You know the deal. Baby guilty comes first before everything. All right, let's take a look at this real quick because I just put that on so you can see it. All right, I had to go outside and it's like 1,000,000 degrees and find some shoes. Hello, Shadow. Good to see you. Miss Bree, good evening. All right, look, Alexee Trevizo. She's got a couple of mugshot pictures. All right. I just want to show you some of the paperwork. I'm going to drop over to that in a second as well. So there's her picture, almost smiling. The facts are disturbing in many respects. All right, we know the defendant was a 19-year-old high school cheerleader, went to the emergency room around midnight, and was supposed to be suffering from severe back pain. Now, Dr. Vasquez and defendant's nurse, for explained reasons, the defendant was never told, notwithstanding her vaginal bleeding, she was pregnant. They didn't tell her. This is their argument. Okay, don't get mad at me. This is in the documents. And then down here in the highlighted areas, it talks about her 5 minutes after she returned to her bed, the defendant's profuse vaginal bleeding prompted the doctor to order a transvaginal ultrasound, then performed a pelvic exam, finding a significant amount of blood. This is what you didn't see. All right. Multiple extremely large clots, wide open cervix, right? Dr. Vasquez did not inform the defendant of the serious, significant findings or advise her of a positive pregnancy test because she ran to the bathroom too soon, in my opinion. Now, When the deceased infant was discovered after the pelvic exam, Dr. Vasquez recognized the defendant could die from a postpartum hemorrhage. However, Dr. Vasquez decided she was not going to discuss defendant's life-threatening condition with her. Her reason was that she wanted to wait for law enforcement presence as a witness. See, this is a problem. I wouldn't, over everything, in my opinion, you've got to make sure the girl's okay too, right? I mean, her mom didn't help anything, guys. This is pissing me off. She's liable for this, and I hope she's accountable. But I don't understand why they did this. And, well, Dr. Vasquez, if one of them wanted to be part of the conversation with the defendant and invited the officers to the defendant's office, then, so officers, first thing, they were supposed to make sure the mother is stable. And then, of course, the mom. When I say the mom, I mean Alexee. After this happened, they called that she wouldn't tell us she's pregnant and killed the kid, right? Then the doctor joins in on the conversation. We see it. And the police are invited in while mom bashes her daughter. Not worried about if her daughter's going to die from this whatever, but instead lecturing her. Guys, this is not how you handle this, all right? So this is like I said, they're civilly, when I say they, Alexee and her mom and counsel are suing the hospital. Okay, there's a civil suit, but there's also a criminal filing for Alexee. Okay, so let's get back to this for a bit. Good question, Mo. Let me see the question. What question we got? Let's go back to January 2023 real quick and see this on a large scale timeline.
2023. Alexee Trevizo is a 19-year-old high school cheerleader. And she goes to the hospital in ARTESIA, New Mexico.
I don't know.
In the middle of the night because she says she has 10 out of 10 back pain. She says earlier in the day she had gone to cheerleading practice and maybe she had done something there to lead to the pain that she was having right now. Now, hospital staff do ask her if she's...
So, guys, she was giving birth is what the pain was. All right? She was giving birth. And, Mo, let me tell you, that's a good question. However, she was bleeding. She was having her period. So her purchasing pads or tampons had nothing to do with this, all right? This kid's 19 years old. Mommy doesn't purchase tampons for you anymore, my friends. When you hit a certain age, yes, the baby was full term. She was giving birth, guys. She was straight up giving birth. That's what was hurting. No wonder babies will hurt your back and they'll make you in all kinds of pain. Labor pain. That's what it was. Straight up. The heater. What's up, team guilty of crime? Remember that for Turtle Island. They did give her a pregnancy test, but by the time she knew it, the baby was already giving birth as she ran through the hospital holding her freaking butt cheeks, all right?
Pregnant, and she says no. She does say she's on her period and there was some bleeding, but that's it. So let's talk about the timeline here because it is critical, not just in the case as a whole, but in the decision that the state Supreme Court just released. 12:18 in the morning. That is when doctors give Alexee an anti-inflammatory drug, acetaminophen. They give her a drug to prevent vomiting, and they also give her a muscle relaxer. 10 minutes later, doctors test Alexee.
Let me know in chat, guys, if you think, I don't have, what do you call that? I never gave birth, right? But the wife gave birth and it was C-sections. So none of this was a thing. But let me know if you guys had a pregnancy and you got all of the muscle relaxers and all these things. Is that gonna make a baby? Is that gonna give you have you give birth faster? I'm curious. Like, what is it? I know that they induce people or they do certain things to let the baby come along, but I don't know what that is. And we haven't even talked about Alexee's actual health and the fact that she could have died. All right. But yes, a beautiful baby boy. And nobody seemed to care about the baby at all. It seemed to be a whole different scenario. Hey, good night, Kathy. We'll see you again, huh?
To see if she's pregnant. Now, according to court records, this is standard procedure for someone of her age and someone who is complaining of the back pain that she had. 12:51 in the morning, Alexee's doctor and nurse are told that she's pregnant. And that nurse then allegedly continues giving Alexee her IV medications, which at that point included morphine, for 48 minutes. And Alexee's defense has pointed out that doctors did not come in to inform Alexee that she was pregnant. 1:39 a.m. Alexee's IV stopped because she says she has to go to the bathroom
Oh,
for a
Pitocin.
bowel movement. Now, hospital surveillance video shows her running to a bathroom.
So look, she literally thought, I'm turtle dogging it. It's coming. She ran to the bathroom holding her butt cheeks, guys. So that was my question. If it makes the baby come out easier, she might have had the pressure relieved with all of those things to where, oh shit, I can't hold it in. But guys, they've been fighting for years. I'm looking at this docket, 500 and something damn pages of motions that they're trying to suppress and things that were done wrong in this case. And I got to agree with a lot of it. What I don't agree with is the fact that Alexee Trevizo is the perpetrator and she should serve time for the mistakes that she made. How much time? I don't think that murder in the first degree will ever fly for a jury. That's why I think they're overreaching here. Pitocin. All right. Let's continue. There she is running down the hallway, turtle dogging it. And then she goes in the bathroom for 20 minutes, gives birth, covers it up, cleans as much as she can, and then goes back in the room.
And she was in that bathroom for nearly 20 minutes. Alexee's mom knocks on the door, nurses knock on the door to make sure she's okay, but they don't go in to that bathroom. And inside that bathroom, police say that Alexee Trevizo gave birth to a full-term baby boy. 1:57 in the morning. That's when Alexee leaves the bathroom. She doesn't call for help. She doesn't tell anyone what just happened inside.
Nothing. She's
She just
scared.
goes back
Her
to
mom
hospital
probably.
room. 2:02 in the morning, court records say that Alexee's doctor performs a pelvic exam on her. Now, there was apparently a lot of blood. And still to this point, Alexee, according to these records, she wasn't told that she had tested positive for being pregnant. But prosecutors...
So all this kind of happened simultaneously, and then she gave birth. What she did wrong, I don't even care if the baby didn't cry or not. She should have absolutely, she was in the hospital, walked over there and said, look what just happened. Because, I can't disagree with, and I would be livid if I went into a hospital. I'm not saying she didn't know she was pregnant, guys. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if somebody didn't know that they were pregnant and they came in with stomach pains and my back hurts and I got to take a fat dump, please help. And they gave me a bunch of drugs and then the baby just kind of flew out like it seemed to be in the bathroom, then it's a whole different case than intentional first degree murder. Okay. It's much different than the tampering with evidence. It needs to be refiled. And I think with the new ruling, it's going to have to be. There's no way.
Prosecutors contend that Alexee knew she was pregnant. A big part of their case is arguing that she was hiding the fact that she was pregnant. We'll talk with her attorney about that more here in just a moment.
Welcome.
2:27 in the morning, hospital cleaning staff, they then enter that bathroom because there was a lot of blood. And that's when they reportedly find this newborn baby.
That's exactly
dead
what she
in
said.
A trash can. Just a minute later, that baby officially was pronounced dead. And court records state an autopsy performed by the state found that
now, guys, look at this time frame. The prosecution, I believe, absolutely was cocky AF. Look at the time frame on this. Literally 1:39 a.m. She says, I gotta take a dump. Then at 1:57 a.m. she leaves the bathroom. From here to here is when she gives birth. Then 5 minutes later, pelvic exam performed. So what they're alleging is that the hospital, the nurse, the doctors didn't follow protocol for any of this. And as a matter of fact, they didn't even treat her before they said, let the cop talk to her. And then they saw this footage and said, it's right here. We can catch all of this in a 30-minute body cam. Let's go.
Pelvic exam on her. Now, there was apparently a lot of blood. And still to this point, Alexee, according to these records, she wasn't told that she had tested positive for being pregnant. But prosecutors contend that Alexee knew she was pregnant. A big part of their case is arguing that she was hiding the fact that she was pregnant. We'll talk with her attorney about that more here.
Thank you for saying that, Sadie's mama, because as much as I want to see her punished, she may get off due to their mistakes. Now, somebody said about the nurse, why would the nurse get in trouble? Well, because they're getting sued partially because of that nurse not following protocol. And instead of taking care of Alexee, she was worried about law enforcement questioning her and doing the things that should have been done. That's why. And she is going to be in that lawsuit. So in trouble or fired, I don't know. What I do know is they charge for a first-degree capital M felony, literally carrying life in prison. Guys, so I just want you to know, I mean, she's going to definitely have to live with this all the rest of her life. But I got to tell you, they messed up. And I would not be surprised if they gave her like 5 years probation and some nonsense that she had to pay back. And it sucks because she really does need to do time for what she did. But now it's years later.
In just a moment. 2:27 in the morning, hospital cleaning staff, they then enter that bathroom because there was a lot of blood. And that's when they reportedly find this newborn baby dead in a trash can.
It's
just
all
a minute
right
later,
there.
that baby officially was pronounced dead. And court records state an autopsy performed by the state found that the baby did have morphine in his blood. Now, the doctor who was overseeing Alexee then calls the police, and police arrived 10 minutes later.
We did a pregnancy test on her, showed positive. She was denying that she had sex.
She's denying that she. Now, Michelle, I'm not debating you at all. What I'm saying is there's protocol, and Sadie's mama's right. They should have never let her go run into the bathroom, and they should have not let her be in there for 20 minutes banging around and whatever whether she knew she was pregnant or not, pumping up a 19-year-old with a bunch of drugs before getting a pregnancy test and letting her run off is what they're being sued for. She does need prison time, but how do you do that when you're overcharging and all this evidence got tossed? Again, I don't like her either. I'm not a fan of Alexee. I don't want anyone to be doing any of that, but I think it could have been handled differently, and this would have been a slam dunk case.
Then she said she had to go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She was in there for quite a while. We kept knocking on the door. Finally, we got her to open the door, and there was blood everywhere. She was cleaning it up. So we took her back to the room, and I was afraid that she knew she was pregnant. She had done something to herself. So the doctor started doing a vaginal exam on her. We had the lady come to clean the bathroom. She put the baby in the trash can, and then she put another clean liner over the top of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when they looked in there, there was no trash in there, but it was underneath the clean bag. The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in Toronto too, but she killed the kid.
Yeah. How old was the baby?
I don't know. It's full term. She just had it. She had it in the bathroom. Was what happened, and then
She absolutely needs to be held accountable. But today we're talking about the Supreme Court tossing this key evidence out, and will she walk free? Right? If you go back and watch my playlist, you'll hear me calling her many names several times, but that's not what we're talking about today. Yes, she absolutely needs to be held accountable, and I hope they do it in the right way. I don't understand why they let her continue going to college and go to prom and do all this ultimately to lock her up for life. It just doesn't, I don't think they did the right process, and it sucks because I think we're all going to be so mad when she's walking free. Guys, you know that she was the school petitioned for her not to be able to even be in the school and let alone be a nurse. All right. So, I mean, what she did, that she's never gonna get past what she did. And yes, it was brutal and disgusting. And I cannot understand why she didn't just give birth and go out into the hospital. Why do what she did? I don't know.
I don't know. She's gonna lie. She wouldn't tell us she's pregnant. She's been lying the whole time.
Deputies then go down the hallway with hospital staff to talk to Alexee about what they found. So it's important to watch this next part because this is central to what just went down with the Supreme Court.
I'm sorry. We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It came out of me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this.
But
I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
It was not crying or making.
Yes.
What did you do to it?
Okay, stop right here.
I
Stop.
just-
Stop. Number
See?
one priority, guys. Number one priority is she just had a baby. I don't know if she's delivered the placenta. She's bleeding significantly.
Yeah.
I've spoken to the obstetrician at Loveless. They want her up there as soon as possible. I need your, obviously need your permission to transfer her for medicals. She's
19.
Oh, you're right.
But she is a student too.
She's still 19
you're
years
right.
old.
You're right. She needs to. I'm sorry, I forgot she's 19. But you need to make sure that you're safe. I need to send you to Loveless to labor delivery. Will you please agree to that?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm gonna work on that. In terms, I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, you do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy and there'll be an investigator and everything. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but we need to do this correctly. And I want to be transparent with you about what our steps are going to be.
No shit.
Officer, do you guys need to talk to her before we get her transferred?
How long is it gonna be before you have to transfer
I
out?
don't know. Are we working on?
Okay.
Marina,
So-
do you think 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Okay.
I got detectives on the way, so they're gonna be talking first.
Okay.
Guys, I gotta tell you something, man. I'm gonna piss you off even more. But if I piss you off, then I did my job. All right. Hit the like button, get yourself a membership. Check this out. There's a lot of cases like this. Do you remember Brooke Skylar Richardson? She's also a former cheerleader who buried her newborn in the backyard and burned the body with a freaking lighter. She tried to cremate the baby. She delivered it, had it in the bathroom, and then kept it secret, all while burying and burning the remains. Do you guys want to know what she got? Let me show you real quick since we're talking about this, okay? I will bring that right back up, but tell me this doesn't piss you off. Now, this girl had a bunch of different issues. You can see how thin she was. She was a cheerleader, but she was diagnosed with anorexia and these different kind of throwing up type of deals. Check this out. You tell me what she got.
The high school cheerleader accused of the unthinkable, killing and burying her newborn baby in her backyard. Skylar Richardson came to court flanked by her parents, looking nervous for the first day of testimony. The first witness to take the stand was a shocker. The young man identified as the father of her baby. His face was concealed at his request.
Did you have sex with Ms. Richardson?
Yes, I did.
How many times?
2.
He said Skylar dumped him after a month.
Did she ever advise you at any point in time that she was pregnant and that you were the father?
Not at all.
She didn't tell anyone she was expecting. When Skylar went to prom night, she was 8 months pregnant. In this photo, you can see a hint of a baby bump under her red mermaid dress. Her date that night, her new boyfriend, Brandon. Just 2 days later, she gave birth in the middle of the night at her parents' house in Carlisle, Ohio. This police interrogation video was played in court.
Guys, if you guys read my book, then you know how much having a baby means to me, my family, right? To families like mine. So I hope you guys realize, even though I'm not like, oh, she's a, oh. All right, this happens. And yes, these girls are deeply disturbed for doing this. There's no doubt about that. But after I finish playing this, after the minute, and I tell you what her sentence was for having the baby, knowing she was pregnant, going to prom with a different dude, giving birth, hiding it, and then burning it and burying it in her backyard. You guys aren't going to believe it.
Today, she told them the baby was stillborn.
You delivered her in the bathroom. She wasn't breathing or anything. Her eyes didn't open. There was no heartbeat. And then you wrapped her in a towel and took her out and put her in that shallow grave right out in the back of the yard, and you just put her in there and covered her up.
Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter.
The defendant, as soon as the pictures were shown on the screen, visibly shook as the bones of her baby Annabelle were shown for the jury. Even a couple of the jurors would cover their mouths and kind of look away at these pictures.
Bones, guys, bones. She burnt, calculated, all right? She did 3 years of probation. Guys, she got community-controlled probation. Are you mad yet? She got 7 days in jail. All 7 days were credited to her, were credited as time served, and the sentence was imposed September 13, 2019, after she was acquitted of the major charges of aggravated, involuntary, and child endangerment. She was only convicted of abuse of a corpse at a 5th-degree felony. She got 7 days in jail, 7 days served, and 3 years of probation. And this was an elaborate plot with an abuse of corpse and burying and sneaking. That's all I got to say about that. All right. Either she should get more or they should just go full force on Alexee. And I don't think that's going to happen.
Do you guys have, I'm the charge nurse here. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What? 9 months? Alexee,
I know.
Have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
Agree.
I was crying.
Any other questions? Okay.
Right. So as of right now, like I'm gonna say this, we're gonna have the detectives come over here and they're gonna talk to you. Okay. We have to gather some more information.
Yeah, guys, there's no excuse for any of this. And I got to tell you, you'd probably be mad if you followed that whole case. All right. The whole Skylar deal, because her parents were put into square blame as well. People were like, how did her parents not know? She had the baby in their bathroom, cuts the umbilical cord, rolls over, and then buries the kid after burning it. However, when you saw her parents in these statements, her parents were like these people that everything had to be perfect. Oh no, you're too fat for that. Oh no, you're too skinny for that. You know, those parents. So what's the correlation between moms that do this and the parents that aren't parenting them? That's their job, right? I mean, you wouldn't just not tell your daughter about any of that, knowing she was having regular sex with a boyfriend now, would you?
About what's going on. They'll get your statement.
Yes.
They're going to get the doctor's statements. They're going to get everybody's statements. Okay. So I don't know everything yet. Okay. So I'm not going to tell you. I can't tell you nothing honestly. Okay. All I can say
She's
is
not going to go to jail.
right now.
No.
Right now she's being detained. So she's not going to leave from here at all. Period. Okay. So one of us will
Is
be
in your custody? Like,
yeah, she's detained. Yeah, she's not under arrest, but she is
Okay.
detained. Okay, she's not free to leave. So while this whole thing is coming up, you're not free to leave. Okay, one of us will be in here the whole time with you because you're not going to try to leave or nothing like that.
She
All right.
won't.
Like I said, the detectives will be here. They're going to talk to you. I mean, your care is of the utmost right now. Okay, they're going to do what they need to do to take care of you to make sure you get stable. They get you transferred out or whatever. Like I said, the detectives are already been notified. They're already on the way, so they're going to come talk to you. All right. So don't leave. Don't try to do nothing. One of us is always going to be in here in this room with you. Okay. Unless we have to step out for doctor's orders, something like that, because if they need to examine you or do something with you. But other than that, like I said, you are detained. You are not free to leave at this.
Guys, who is the girl that we've been watching that just cut the baby out? Right. The Netflix documentary. She's on death row now. And she cut the baby out, and you see a similar situation with the doctor trying to explain, listen, lady, you did not give birth. Nothing is wrong down there. All right. This right here is the evidence that got tossed. So now they have to build a case around not this, around anything else.
Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So on the surface, that seems like very damning evidence if that was shown to a jury. Again, prosecutors are contending that she knew she was pregnant ahead of time. She was trying to conceal this. They also are contending that an autopsy proves that the baby was alive when that child was born, and Alexee then puts the baby in the trash, and the baby ends up dying of what's called entrapment because the baby was in a plastic bag. But the New Mexico Supreme Court ruled that the video, the statements you see Trevizo make to doctors and nurses, and what she said in front of police, all of those things.
What's up, Saucy's Kid CBD? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Don't forget to hit that like button. I've got a couple nice plants growing, by the way, Saucy. When they get bigger, I'll send them to you. I'll send you some pictures, right? Yes, bones. She burnt the baby, tried to cremate it, and they found bones in the backyard once they did. All right. All she had to do was not harm her baby. That's a bare minimum. Apparently, some people can't do that.
That night are now out. Trevizo is charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. There was an abuse charge initially she faced, but that was dropped. A state autopsy, again, finding the baby died of what's called entrapment. The manner of death was ruled a homicide. A district court judge in August of 2024 ruled that police should not have been brought into the room, and those statements that Alexee made that were caught on police body cam, they violated physician-patient confidentiality. And they also noted that Trevizo made statements without being read.
Now, here's the problem in the justice system when somebody that is charging gets heated and blinded by their bias for the case. Because the justice system is supposed to be fair, right? And when you hear words like Foxy says that indicate how you feel, like she refers to her baby as nothing and her shining example, and you look at the way her mom is, and the grandma doesn't even give two shits about the baby at all. It blinds you by lock her up. Let's overcharge her the most we can. But look at what we got in this case for doing that. I'm telling you, we didn't get here because people aren't pissed and don't want to see her serve the amount of time, a long time. We got here because of the hate and the overconfidence and the cockiness, just overcharging, period. They shouldn't have done that. And if she does walk away, guys, I'll be the first to say, I'm not happy about this, and we'll definitely have to put it out there. We'll do another episode if it even gets to trial. I have a feeling prosecution is going to end up doing a plea deal.
Miranda rights. In the district ruling, quote, the district court explained that the statement made by defendant's own doctor that a dead baby was discovered in the bathroom was made in a highly confrontational manner, and by any reasonable interpretation is shocking, confrontational, and designed to elicit a response. Now, again, that was the district court ruling. The state then appeals, saying that Alexee did not have physician-patient privilege because doctors are required to call law enforcement in cases like that, and the privilege was waived also because Alexee's mom was in the room with her. It's important to note that Alexee was legally an adult at 19 years old. In November of last year, the New Mexico Supreme Court then takes up this case and they hear arguments. And this week, they ruled, siding with the district court ruling, that the statements that Alexee made to police and the statements that she made to doctors that night cannot be used in her case. That also, according to her attorney, goes for video on body cam and video that was shot by the hospital that evening. Now, in their ruling, the Supreme Court noted that once doctors notified deputies that a dead baby was found in the trash can, their reporting duty was done. And the doctor-patient privilege still existed at that point. So this next line that is in the Supreme Court ruling, I'll admit to you, it's a little legalese here, but it's important. So let's just go through it, and then we're going to talk to Alexee's attorney here. Quote, the state's argument urges us to adopt a per se rule that whenever a third person is present who is not necessary for care or treatment while a patient communicates with their doctor, a waiver of confidentiality takes place, regardless of who the person is or of the circumstances. We reject that argument as inconsistent with case law and the policy interests underlying the physician-patient privilege, end quote. Join us now is Gary Mitchell, attorney for Alexee.
Is this the same attorney? It is. He doesn't even look like he's going to be in it for the fight, guys. It is definitely a strange. And I mean, a lot of people have been following this case for years. When are you going to cover it, Jay? Well, I did cover it, and nothing's happened in the meantime that, so to speak of. There has been a lot happening with motions and, them fighting and trying to get more, we'll say, freedom for Alexee, right? She went to the prom afterwards with the boyfriend. So is her mom now monitoring her? She's making her take the IUD? Remember, she's older now. It's been years now. She was 19. She's 22 now? This guy doesn't even look like he's got any fight left in him. He's looking that way and straight ahead.
By the Supreme Court in a very clear and distinct way. She has a doctor-patient privilege, a hospital patient privilege.
Yes.
And therefore, all the information that came from the hospital is inadmissible in court. But more important for this case, which a lot of people have not noticed, and I appreciate you asking about, is the Supreme Court taking on the absolute, frankly, malpractice of the hospital, the failure of doctors and nurses to render the care that she went to the hospital for, and the failure to tell her that she was pregnant, the failure to tell her that she might be having a baby, the failure to check, all of that all of that occurred, and for which they frankly have attempted to cover up. So it's a huge change in the case. The Supreme Court's opinion is very clear, and there shouldn't be any question about it.
So a lot of people have seen the body cam video at this point of statements that your client made that night. What is it like when someone is watching that video? Maybe they're seeing it now for the first time. Why is what we're watching there a violation of her rights?
Because when you go see a doctor or you go to a hospital, your medical conditions are very private and always have been. We've accepted that since common law, before we even had statutes and rules and regulations regarding it. We've accepted that knowledge. Very similar to the privilege between lawyers and clients and priests and their penitents. And so that's the major issue. But in this instance, they go so far in the opinion as to indicate that the doctor had set her up with the—
You guys Foxy, get out of here. Just kidding. When did he start practicing law? In 1895? Y'all killing me. But it's funny because, we got to break up the monotony and the anger. I do love Michelle. Michelle comes in here and is heated. You were one of the people in the forefront in the Madeline Soto case. And I love your passion that you have for this. I'm learning over time. I've been here. I think you guys have been here with me. Sadie's mama's been here for 28 months, which means I've been here for almost 2.5 years now. And as I learn to present these cases a little better, I'm just trying to be a little bit more, give a fair representation of the case. And you guys, my biases are gonna come out. Does it mean I'm gonna talk crap about every single person? Nah, it depends what mood I'm in. But in this case, she was totally turtle dogging it. And Foxy's right. This guy was practicing in the 1800s. I don't know what happened here.
Police, in their words, not mine, where they
KFC guy, yes.
And here we have a 19-year-old who goes to the hospital because she doesn't know what the problem is, doesn't know what the matter is. And I know people can find that sort of ridiculous because she was pregnant, but a lot of women don't know that they're pregnant. And if they did know they were pregnant, didn't know that they were about to deliver at the time. So that's the situation.
You know what sucks, Indy Isham, and you're 100% right. Let's say a prayer for the baby that was born that I don't even know the name of. All I know is that we lost the baby that day when she could have absolutely just given the baby up and given it to somebody that wanted a baby. Where she messed up, number one, if she didn't know she was pregnant, I'm going to give her the benefit of doubt. I think she knew, but if she didn't know, her problem was, and why in the hell would you ever do this, guys? Why would you ever put a baby in a trash can and close it up? Not even all the way, but close it up and hide it. That's where she went wrong. That's where the depraved, crazy, just outlandish, whatever you want to call it, her behavior from that point on, she made a choice. She spent 20 minutes putting the baby in the trash and trying to clean up, which it was evident that it wasn't. It was evident that she didn't do a good job because it led them right to the baby. LMAO, it depends on my mood. It does. Sometimes I'm feeling spicy. All right. I'm spicier than other days. But yes, may the baby rest in peace, and may this case, well, I hope this case sets a precedence in a different way than what it's doing right now. Because right now it's saying, yeah, we're not going to hold you accountable. She probably has a pregnancy app. She knew, and she was in the hospital. What she went for is interesting, though. It's very interesting that you'd go into a hospital for your back hurting when you're a cheerleader, right? Your back's gonna hurt. You'd fly in the air. You do it. Why would she even go to the hospital and run to bathroom to take a dump if she knew? I know it wasn't a dump. She had the baby, but normal people wouldn't do it even on morphine. I know, right? The heater. I can't even fathom giving birth and then going back out and telling lies about the baby and tying it up. I can't comprehend that. But then again, many of these girls that do this, I don't understand either.
But the hospital did nothing. In fact, the opinion reflects that for a lengthy period of time, almost up to an hour. They didn't bother to tell her that she was pregnant. They never told her that she was pregnant until after she had delivered the baby in the bathroom. And most important, they certainly didn't look, because she gave them information that any good doctor or nurses would know, wait a second, we may have a problem here. If she's still menstruating every month and she's pregnant almost at full term, we've got a major issue with this baby that they needed to immediately take care of and get emergency care for. They didn't do any of that. So the Supreme Court takes that on real clearly, and that's a big deal in our case.
Absolutely.
Everybody knew, guys, look at this, that she was locked in there and they're waiting outside. Like, what's wrong with this girl? If she passed out in there, we're going to be liable for this. So they all start lining up in the hallway. And when the nurse goes in there, it's apparent there's blood everywhere. She didn't even give it 10 minutes, Indy Isham. She gave it no time. She gave birth and then immediately put the baby in the bag. All right. I don't think they heard a baby screaming or crying or any of that. But was the baby alive? Well, yes, according to the hospital, the baby did have air in the lungs and had been breathing. Allegedly, she suffocated the baby. HIPAA was passed in 1996. Damn.
And going forward, just so I understand, because, you know, this body cam video that, again, it's probably been seen by millions of people at this point, like that cannot be presented as evidence at trial. Like this ruling, though, does that, where does this extend? Because you do have the doctor who was in the room that night. You have those police officers, you know, they cannot, you know, how does this extend to potentially them going on the stand and telling a jury what your client said that night? Like, what does this ruling extend to beyond just that body cam video?
I don't know.
It's out. They can't use it.
So no statement about what she made that night to any of the doctors, that cannot be used.
And those videotapes cannot be used.
I know.
They're all out because
all out
by the hospital.
All that's out, guys.
And at the time that set up to try to get something out of her.
And she did. They did. Again, I can understand this doctor saying, this bitch, look at that. She just killed the baby. You know how many people come in here and can't have babies? The first thing she did was say, well, we found a dead baby in the bathroom. Okay. And then next she says, let's talk to law enforcement about it. Right. So they did missteps that probably would have taken a different direction had this not happened. Now we don't get to see any of this, guys. None of this is coming into the trial. So it makes me wonder, is there going to be a trial?
Was improper as well because it violated the doctor-patient privilege. They shouldn't have been invited in. So all of that's out. That doesn't mean the state's not going to proceed to prosecute. They are going to continue. What the state told the press yesterday. So that's my understanding. They're going to proceed, and we're going to proceed with she had a baby, and the baby was found. The baby was dead, and they're going to proceed and try to show that the baby was born alive, therefore she was negligent, and that's child abuse, and she's guilty of first-degree murder. That's going to be their argument. We disagree with that. We know our experts are going to say far differently, and so that's where we're going to end up in this case, I think.
Battle of the experts.
Let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, from your perspective, and again, we've heard, you know, the state's perspective.
From your 1800s perspective, sir, what would you say would happen in the 1800s when this happened? Oh, we didn't have cameras back then. I didn't even have a car. It was just a rock that we were rolling around. All right, bios could not. She now knows. All right. Oh, yeah, they still have a case, but guys, they overcharged because they didn't even have to present any evidence to get to the point where they go first degree based on, you guys get a jury, be in a jury, watch that video, and then think about the baby that suffocated while she was in there shaking in her boots, pretending or not, right? And you're going to convict her. But without that, what evidence is coming in, and are they going to charge lesser? If they overreach, she's going to get nothing. She's going to do Skylar time. 7 days and 3 years probation, guys.
A lot of stuff has changed with this ruling. From your perspective, from Alexee's perspective, what happened that night?
From my perspective, she's one of that, and it's a much higher percentage than people think.
All right, let's shout out to Rebecca. Rebecca, hello. Can you hear me now? You guys go sub up to Rebecca. Can you hear me now? This is Rebecca Michelo. That is little Corey Michelot, and Rebecca's doing everything she can to change laws and get her voice heard about little Corey Michelot. And it's been years, and she's working at it. Go sub up to her and support her, okay, guys? Everyone says hi, Rebecca. We all love you over here. And if you ever need anything, we're here. You have my number. You can text me or call me or whatever you want. All right? Back then, the 4 horses tied their limbs. Back in my day. All right. Didn't seem to care. They didn't. As a matter of fact, the father of the baby was out in the waiting room, and he didn't even know what the hell was going on. I think he only knew how to, he knew how to definitely make a baby, but he didn't know anything about it other than that. All right. Thank you for coming in, Cheapskate. Don't forget, hit the like button, guys. Everybody asked me to cover this case, and I only have 132 people in chat. And we've only done, we got 1, and then we got some jewels, and then I gifted 5 memberships. So maybe we'll make up for it later or tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Let's go. I'll pull that down. Hopefully you guys got one, because members only Monday's real.
Of women that do not know that they're pregnant because she'd been having, as teenage girls typically do, I'm not pregnant because I'm having my period every month. It was classic. She thought she was injured from working out, had tremendous low back pain, goes there, tries to seek treatment. They run a pregnancy test. They don't bother to tell her that she's pregnant. They could have told her she's pregnant. That would have changed everything. They could have said, listen, we need to check. They didn't do anything in that regard.
They would have saved a life.
A lengthy period of time. In a hospital, an hour is a lengthy period of time.
They would have saved baby Trevizo, and hopefully she'd have been charged with the right charges, right? Trying to, whatever the charges are going to be, but the baby would be alive. None of this I can comprehend, and I have a feeling that everybody's going to get sued. Everybody's going to be held accountable except for her. And that sucks, guys.
Rendering certain treatment or even checking, a simple examination they would have known she was facing at the time, and she was birth was imminent. But they didn't do any of that. So that's where
they also didn't read her Miranda rights. You guys saw that with me. It doesn't matter if you're a mass shooter and you get apprehended by law enforcement. You have to read them their rights. You can't just have them walk up and be like, hey, dude, I just shot everybody. Oh, yeah? Tell me about it, guy. They get a full confession, and then it's all on body cam, but you didn't read the Miranda rights. You didn't follow any of that. Unfortunately, that happens, and they're going to be held accountable.
We're going to head, and our position has always been, this is a total shock to this 19-year-old who had never even had a vaginal examination in her life.
You're good. And I don't understand why, guys. Did you hear that? She had never had an exam in her life, a vaginal exam like women do. She was already having with her boyfriend, and her mom didn't see to it to go to a doctor. All right. No, you're good, Michelle. I like people being passionate about cases. I'm not trying to say anything. Keep being passionate, girl. You're good. All right.
It's a total shock to her as to what's going on, something she's totally unprepared for. And you've given her, as the Supreme Court noted in their opinion, all these narcotics.
Oh, damn.
That means there's no way with the trauma of birth, plus all the narcotics, including morphine, that she was in the right frame of mind or state of mind to be able to properly make decisions. And for example, call out and say, I need help, or anything such as that. She just didn't know what was going on. And so the Supreme Court's decision, when you read it in detail, pretty much states our defense in this case.
And I know
Except
you.
for the fact that I know that child, that there
Look
were
at that.
major problems that had occurred.
Look at he's going down in the
with the
trash.
fetus
Baby's there.
And
But you see how this would sway a jury big time. If you see that, you're like, oh shit, this girl ran down the hall, which also shows urgency. Yeah, her mom, I believe her mom should also be held accountable to an extent what happened. I think the mom was absolutely in denial, and she was lecturing her for the wrong things. Listen, though, Mo, tell me that a 19-year-old female and a 19-year-old male aren't going to be having sexual activity. You tell me a lie, and I'll tell you I don't believe it. I don't care if her mom, and I'm not saying this to you, I'm just saying this is ridiculous. Whether she lied to her mom and said, no, I've never had sex or not, I would get her ass in there. All right. The fact that she's having relations with one boy over the course of time, clearly she was having sex, guys. All right. Even federal protection laws don't help it. The police completely disregard them. And I think the nurse wanted to get a conviction. Oh, the baby's dead. You can't go anywhere. You got to talk to her right now. We're going to hold up an hour on the exam while you talk to her, and you didn't even read her rights. All right. I'm sure they did. They got DNA on the baby because the baby's father was in the waiting room. All right. Scratch off the end of that. Oh, you guys. I love you guys.
The child was in imminent danger.
The state autopsy believes that this baby died from what was called entrapment, from being put into a plastic bag. How do you believe the baby died?
You're welcome.
I don't believe the baby was born alive.
Why is that? How do you prove that?
Through our experts. And I'm confident that our experts, who are far more experienced, have done this, have a greater amount of not only education, but skill and training. I'm confident that we can show that. And I'm also confident that we can show that there were major issues that had she known she was pregnant and had she had pre-birth care, we would have perhaps people could have spotted or should have spotted, but that wasn't done. Because it's a small rural community, we just don't have enough doctors in these small communities to take care of everybody, and we don't educate well enough for young teenage women, for example, to be able to get.
So what are you saying, Todd? Boy, is he talking slow. Let me show you real quick. Let's pop into the boyfriend and see what he has to say about this. He was in the waiting room. That's why I find it odd that she would go to a hospital knowing she was pregnant and not say a effing thing. Did she think that the baby was just gonna disappear? Or?
Shortly after a New Mexico teen admitted to putting her newborn baby in the trash, a police officer spoke with her parents and her boyfriend.
You'd be the Destin's grandmother?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
So that's her boyfriend.
Mr. Boyfriend, do you have a driver's license?
Devin Fierro was briefly questioned by a police officer in the hospital waiting room after it was revealed that his girlfriend, 19-year-old Alexee Trevizo, gave birth to a baby boy in a hospital room and put the child in a trash bag. The body was later discovered by a cleaning crew.
Yesterday, she said it was really bad, that her hips were hurting and her back. And then last night, we were on the phone together and she said her hips were hurting bad. I said, ask her if anything else is hurting. And she said just everything. And she went to sleep.
But she's a cheerleader too, so she's big in cheers. They have cheer competition. She works out. I mean.
And she's been active this whole time?
Yeah, she's been active this whole time.
How long have you all been together?
9 months.
2 years? Okay. So I'm not trying to be rude, but you are more than likely will be.
I don't know where these kids came from on this planet, but that guy doesn't seem to know shit. All right? Just a bunch of dumbasses. Thank you, cheapskate. Sometimes I don't want to say that, but I'm reading your comment. Just a bunch of dumbass people. What are you doing there? If she knew she was pregnant and the boyfriend didn't, and all of them saw the same thing that we did in her cheer video, then what happened here? They literally all look like they're dumbfounded. Like, what? They're Hispanic, but non-Native American, at least in my opinion. All right, having to talk in a lobby about this too, right? And with the body cam still rolling. And then hand it over to Inside Edition when trial hasn't even happened yet. Guys, this is not a good recipe to make someone serve their time. This is not.
The father? Okay.
These mothers shared a brief laugh of discomfort, which soon turned to sadness.
And they can help you with the afterlife care, okay? Do y'all have any questions for me right now? Okay.
Alexee Trevizo claims she didn't know she was pregnant, and police say she told them that when the baby came out of her in the bathroom that it wasn't crying. She's been charged with first-degree murder, but her lawyer says she is innocent of the charges against her. She's due back in court in September.
All right, so this has changed significantly since then. This case has just completely taken its own turn. There hasn't been a lot to talk about until today.
The care that they need. It's a sad comment about America's healthcare system.
You touched on this a little bit, but a big...
That's a problem, Wyatt. Nobody seemed to care about any of that. When I was trying to refer to the baby, I couldn't figure out if the baby a boy, is the baby a girl. It wasn't apparent. What did you name the baby? Whatever. The mom the grandma didn't seem to give two shits. And no, she is not innocent. I don't think anything about this case says she's innocent. What it does say is Alexee Trevizo dumped her baby in the hospital trash, and Supreme Court tossed out all the evidence to show that. Will she walk free, or will she end up getting some other charge to make her serve her time? Because right now it's not going on first degree, friends.
Question will be going forward that she ends up going to the bathroom, whether she knew she was pregnant or not. However, the baby died. The baby is born, and she ends up going back to her room as opposed to calling for help. Why did she not call for help? How do you answer that?
Oh, it's pretty easy for me. I mean, you can't give her the massive amount of drugs and morphine and such for somebody that's never had any of that kind of stuff before in their life.
Thank you for that. You almost made me spit out my coffee. Rebecca says, if my daughter ran out of the hospital room holding her ass, I'd be following her to the bathroom. Amen for that. I can't understand that. She literally is running to the bathroom like she's going to shit herself the whole time. Her hand's back there and it's urgent. Get there. And then she's in there for 20 minutes. Her mom doesn't even go to the door and be like, hey, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? Come out of here. We're worried about you. Nothing. Just let me wait till she comes back in, and then I'll lecture her in front of law enforcement and get her more time. What the fuck is wrong with these people? She named him Alex. So it was a boy, and her name's Alexee, and she named him Alex after her disgusting self. I know, that made me almost spit, Rebecca, so thank you for the laugh.
You know, this isn't some young woman that's been an abuser of drugs or an abuser of alcohol. I mean, imagine the amounts that they gave her. There's no possible way that we would have ever thought that she was competent to make such decisions as that. And the Supreme Court talks about that, by the way, when you read that opinion. And that came from the evidentiary hearing that we'd already had in this case, and from the medical records. It's shocking the position they put this young woman in without protecting her.
In my days, we would do this, but we didn't have cars and it took forever. In my days, a pigeon carrier would have sent a note. This guy's old AF.
And I know, look, there are media reports that are out there that is very different from something that's going to be presented in court. But there have been reports out there. The Daily Mail, has an article where there are friends who say that she knew that she was pregnant. That there are people out there who might be able to testify that
there it is.
She was very aware and spoke to people that she was pregnant. That it wasn't something that was just a shock that night. How do you respond to that? That's out there.
Chris, you know this from your
right?
involvement
Yes.
with the law.
Yes.
My greatest problem in this case is not from what's going to be presented in the courtroom. My greatest problem in this case is trying to pick a jury that hasn't been so influenced by people that didn't know what they were talking about, or people that didn't have all the facts and all the gossip, rumor, hearsay, speculation, guess, and conjecture based on social media. I mean, that is amazingly difficult to get around and amazingly difficult to try to deal with in defending her. And that's the huge risk in this case, is that we convict somebody not based upon facts and the law, but based upon gossip and rumor and hearsay.
Yep.
Because I do wonder with that. I mean, I've seen
right after she got arrested and released, she was off to prom. So if you look at that picture in the thumbnail I showed you, her with her boyfriend at prom. Now, her boyfriend at prom is a different guy than the baby daddy, by the way. But yes, that was a baby daddy. Oh, and he was in the waiting room like, huh? What happened? Faxes? Yeah, maybe Pony Express is. Oh, I'm sure, Deb. I'm sure her mom would just want it gone. You heard what she said in there.
The body cam video multiple times. I mean, you search her name, it's the first thing that'll probably come up on YouTube is those statements that she made. How are you going to be able to find people? I mean, how do you plan to address that to make sure that whoever's on the jury already doesn't know what was said in that video?
We'll do it the old-fashioned way. We'll do it with jury questionnaires, which the judge has already approved in this case. Approved us sending out jury questionnaires in advance to determine what people have of it. We have to depend upon they're taking an oath that they're telling the truth, and that if they have information that they divulge it to us. That's always a risk, but at the end of the day, you have to rely on the consciousness of jurors to be fair and just, and to base a case solely on the evidence they receive in the courtroom. And I'm not naive about that kind of thing. I've been doing this a long time, and I know sometimes jurors can set that aside. Most of the time they can't. And you have to just deal with trying to find jurors that haven't heard.
Blah, 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 blah. But listen, guys, what is happening here is they have to gather now. They have to gather real evidence. All right. They've got to have a complaint, the criminal complaint. They've got to have the witnesses saying she knew she was pregnant. They got to have the cheerleader saying, hey, yeah, she talked to me about it. They've got to have all of that. They've got to have evidence to show that she knew and that she did that anyway. Like, there's a lot of paperwork in this document, and there's been a lot going on behind the scenes that I don't think we knew about.
Much about the case, and certainly haven't been influenced by social media. That's going to be a difficult task. That's the most difficult thing in this whole case.
And, you know, for Alexee herself, I mean, what's her day-to-day life like right now as all of this is continued on?
All right, this is
She works
current.
extremely hard. The conditions of release required her to stay at a certain location. She's always honored that. She hasn't gone anywhere without permission of the court or the knowledge of the court. She has not violated a single law. She was required to either work or go to school. She's gone to school full time. She's done that from home because she wasn't allowed on the campus because of basically a mob attitude about we don't want her on our campus, and
you hear that?
her life, and
they kicked her out.
So she's done that and continues to do that on a daily basis. Works hard every day at doing the right thing, and helps take care of her family. Her mom and dad both work, and she has certain responsibilities in that regard as well. And she's just been, you couldn't ask for a better client.
Oh my God. Wow. This guy is just laying it thick, right? Right. There's so many people inquisitive, P. I'm going to show you this after. I'm going to show you the criminal complaint. This goes way back until the very beginning, and all of the fifth judicial rulings and motions to suppress. I mean, just they have a big battle, and it's not on the stage. It's not going to be a filmed battle. I don't even know that we're going to get a trial after this.
When it comes to that kind of pretrial conditions.
I know you can't, it's certainly attorney-client privilege, and you have conversations, but I mean, just generally speaking, I mean, what is her reaction yesterday when this news comes down?
It was ecstatic. She was very ecstatic about it. But on the other hand, I've made her very realistic about this, that this doesn't end the case, that I'm sure the prosecutor is going to continue, and that we have a trial, and all sorts of things can happen between now and then. I think the law is very subjective at times and not very objective. Hopefully science will be very objective.
Oops.
And I think our science in this case is clear that she really didn't do anything wrong, and there's nothing she could have done, even if she'd have been screaming for help from the first moment the baby passed through the birth canal. But in any event, that's the big thing. And she's realistic about that. And I've made her very realistic about it through my conversations with her, of course. So we'll deal with that as we go by. She's still very apprehensive.
I think they're absolutely going to take a plea, guys. This was 3 days ago, and it took over, I believe it, because I'm looking at the time it was filed, that it took over a year for the Supreme Court to even rule on this thing. And again, it's a strategy. Keep her out as long as you can. Get her an education, get her in the work and regular life. So when she goes into court, they can say what this guy's saying about her.
Of lawyers and judges to have. So we got real lucky with the judge, meaning we had an educated judge and a very learned judge who knew not only the law, but knew something about what should have been done in an emergency room. And then you have Supreme Court justices who also had a lot of knowledge. So, and of course the briefs, and in this instance, between the briefs with ACLU, we had certain physicians associations write briefs. In this case, we had pregnancy justice write briefs. And at the end of the day, the thing you're proudest of in this case right now, at this very moment, is that New Mexico still believes that women have rights.
And just lastly, I know you're also suing the hospital for wrongful death in this case on the civil side, the criminal case continuing forward. I mean, what is the next steps for you on this going forward? If the prosecutors say they're going to continue on with this, they believe that this is a murder case, they believe that she committed murder. What's the next step on this now in the wake of this ruling that came in yesterday?
Well, the matters in civil court are going to be stayed pending this criminal prosecution.
Hey, Deborah.
And I think that's pretty clear. New Mexico law allows for that and typically honors that. So we'll get ready for the criminal case. The court will receive a mandate from the Supreme Court, in other words, an order telling them to proceed. The court, these judges set these cases pretty quick or get us a setting. Now, it may not be a very quick setting, but I suspect we'll be going to trial in 2027. The court will set probably.
There you go, 2027. I think there's going to be a plea deal before that, guys. So buckle up, buckle in. I will try to definitely keep you guys up to date with this case as it comes out. Rebecca says, so the morphine caused her to be incapable of making decisions, but her mind was clear enough to take out a garbage bag and put a baby in the trash and put the trash on top of it. Yeah, that is what you heard. But again, we know the justice system doesn't really give us justice, Rebecca. We understand that it's cross your T's and dot your I's, and whoever can give the best story wins. And especially if you have some evidence to back it up. That you remember, this is their defense. That's what they're paid to do. They're paid to say this shit. Now, here's a wrongful death lawsuit that's being used not only as a defense, but it's being used to sue so they can get money for this too.
Hospital staff and body cam footage. When the baby was found, he was described as cold, blue, and purple, with his umbilical cord tattered and wrapped in a plastic bag. Both the ER doctor and the charge nurse described how heartbreaking it was that they weren't even given a chance to save the baby.
She said, pick it up. And when I picked it up, it was heavy. I was like, holy, you know what I mean? I knew, right away I knew. Then I just went straight to trauma 2 with.
And again, they all call the baby it. The baby wasn't born in a way that they normally are. So I feel like they're not saying him. They're not calling him by name. They're just calling the baby it.
The whole trash can. And then I went in there to talk to the patient. She said that it just came out of her and she didn't know what to do.
Now, the next thing, it appears that there has been an intent to file a wrongful death lawsuit. I know that this is a civil matter, but is this being used as part of her defense strategy in general? To say, hey, this girl really didn't know that she was pregnant. She was scared. She lost a son. Look, we have a wrongful death suit. She can't be guilty. That kind of thing. Is it genuine, or is it all part of the murder defense?
Probably all part of the defense, because we got to see the things that the jury will never see. Now, absolutely nobody's making an excuse about morphine making her stupid, what have you. That's just part of the case. That's part of what the jury's going to see and what the prosecution is going to present. So when you look at this, they're going to have to go over all this, guys. Look at this. This was July 18th, 2024. And before that, there's 24 pages of filings and motions and dismissals and orders. And all right, you see that we're on only page 24 of 562 pages in this docket. All right, this is a charging document, and then it's got everything else. The exhibits, there's not many exhibits, guys. There's one black flash drive. All right, but then they do have the documents listed below that were transmitted, and this is all going to be evidence as well, right? The criminal complaint witness list, disclosure. Of course, they always ask for an alibi, right? Demand of discovery, blah, blah, blah. This has been going on since 2023, right? Hearing pretrial conference, hearing arraignment. So if you're wondering about this case and what was happening, well, Alexee Trevizo is out there living, going to school, dating a boy. She's all out there free while all of this is going on. Now, here's the, they go back and forth with the witness list and who can be a witness and whatnot. So we've got that and the different motions they file. We'd be here all night. Response to the defendant's motion, right? Continue. So many things, man. They've got a lot. I didn't realize how much they have. There's a sealed document here. I have no idea what that is, right? Notice of demand for in-person confrontation. There's a lot in this. It just keeps going. So intentional abuse of a child. So this is the criminal. This is what they're charging now. And this is prior to the ruling. Count 1, first degree. All right. Willful and deliberate. And then intentional abuse of a child resulting in death. Count 2, tampering with evidence. And that was her fabricating this lie and hiding the baby. All right. Preliminary was held. This happened years ago. And now we're waiting to make it to trial. But we're not, because look at all this. Look at the witness list and the evidence and the doctors and the lawsuits that are happening. It's all pretty much just getting tied up in court. So we'll see what happens, guys. I definitely will keep you guys up to speed. Hey, wait, Vincent came in? All right. I love you, Vincent. I love you. Keep coming back. Yeah, and Vincent just loves us, doesn't he? I'm sure it's a she living in her mom's basement. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I got to see you here. My pastor calls me niche. Here's the thing. The bathroom was right near down the hallway from her. She should have never left the room. And I wish her mom would have followed her. All right. The bathroom in the hospital was just right outside. Did you actually see the video of it, Rebecca? Did you see what happened? Her running down the hall and holding her. It was right there, her room and then the hospital. And you can see her running with intent to get to that bathroom before she drops it. Right. So I don't know. I take it you don't like her. What's up with Annie Elise? What? I met her at CrimeCon. She's actually pretty cool, guys. Why are you guys clowning on Annie Elise for? I like her. She's cool. She shares her stories and everything. She did not go to the bathroom in her room. And I don't know if there was a bathroom in her room. It was an exam room. So I'm going to say no. Right? Exam rooms don't usually give us, they don't usually put bathrooms in there unless it's like some labor and delivery or long-term stay. But you can see her running out, and it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. We're going to keep up on this. I'll let you know when something happens, if a plea deal gets taken. Other than that, guys, I will be back tomorrow with Courtney Clenny coverage. Did you guys know? If you didn't, now you do know. Courtney Clenny is she's taking a plea deal, my friends. Holding her butt, running, no back pain, right? Oh, yeah. Vincent just loves me. Vincent is like obsessed with me, right? Vincent is a persistent troll that keeps coming back. That's why it's better when I get rid of him, because I can ban him from my channel. So every day that Vincent character comes back in. So next time, let me do it so I can just completely get him out of my. You got to make more. You got to make more accounts than that, Vincent. All right. Channel 53. All right, guys. Much love to you. And yeah, we don't. Bye, Vincent. Sometimes I like playing with the trolls, but you're making me bored, Vincent. Talking about farce all day and shoving toy trucks up your butt. Major deflection. Okay, now tomorrow we're covering Courtney Clenny. I hope any of you guys are interested in that case, because that case also has taken years to get to. Okay, but it's not. It's. I don't know. Come back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Let's talk about the plea deal and see what. Yeah, you're good, Michelle. You've been here since day one, venting about Maddie, about Jen Soto arrest. I get it. I'm here with you. All right, guys. Yeah, that Vincent is so intelligent. He keeps talking about farce like a 11-year-old boy. Yes, please come back, Krista. Good night, and everybody else. Sadie's mama, huge hug to you. Love you guys. See you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm out of here. Love you guys. Bye. And if you run into Vincent on the streets, You know what to do. Michael says, maybe one of you ladies could answer this. When you are going through labor, does it feel like a poop? I don't know. Maybe the ladies will answer this, but I got to tell you, many times when women are going into labor, the doctors will give them what is it? They give them something to make sure that they poop before they have a baby, because otherwise you're going to lose all your stuff on that table. So I never had a baby myself. I've seen obviously babies being born through C-section, and yeah, women can lose their bowels on that table, guys. All right, let's continue. Good night, guys. Love you, and I hope I answered your question. Back at you, Michelle. Love you. Crazy Jane. It feels like a watermelon. No thanks. They get an enema and it feels pressure on your backside. Like, okay. All right. So that's what she looked like. She looked like she was about to poop. I think she was like, oh, it's coming. I've heard it can feel. Yeah, I'm good. I'm 47, y'all. No more kids. I don't have to birth anything. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Good night, Rebecca. If you need something, reach out. Love you. Good night.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?